Yo, let's get it cracking. Yo, yes, people. I'm Cree.
My name is Dayle.
I'm Rere.
I'm gonna react to some more TikTok conspiracies today. See if we get creeped out and see what
Okay.
we can. Cause we're gonna call it creepy,
I don't know.
and everyone calls it creepy
I don't
TikToks.
know if
But
it can creep me out because I feel like all my life I've been told these conspiracies and
facts.
it's kind of normal to me.
But I guess to most people, a lot of people in the world don't know any of these concepts in it, so it's creepy to a lot of people in it.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up on these things in my teens, so let's see if we can get some more information. I'll be very curious. So this is
The Rothschilds, more specifically Lord Jacob Rothschild, recently passed away on February 26 at the age of 87. Just hearing that name, Rothschild, might make some people think, oh, evil, rich, Illuminati, corrupt, New World Order, Freemason. But do you even know who they are and how they made their money? They started off as a relatively normal family, just trying to make ends meet and grow a business almost 300 years ago, with Amschel Moses Bauer opening a accounting house in Frankfurt, Germany in 1743, the early version of an accounting firm. Above the door outside his office was a sign with an eagle and a red shield on it, and the office came to be locally known as the Red Shield Firm, translated to German Rote Shield, which eventually got shortened to Rothschild. Origin story right here. Amschel passed his business down to his son Meyer, who changed his last name from Bauer to Rothschild after the store. And this is where it all begins. Meyer was pretty business savvy and just hungry to make it big, so he wanted to scale hard. His dad's business mainly dealt with bookkeeping, dealing coins, and lending money to average Joes. Until one time he scored a lending job with the government and got paid a fat bag for it. So he doubled down on that, focusing all of his efforts on lending money to governments and kings, which was way more profitable than lending to citizens. The loan amounts were astronomically bigger than average folk for obvious reasons, but the real cherry on top was that these loans were secured by the people, the taxpayers of the country. So when a regular Joe takes out a loan and can't pay it in time, they default on it, and the loaner is left chasing after Joe until they can pay it back. Government loans are backed by taxpayer money. A government will always have a virtually endless supply of money rolling in from collected taxes that they can use to pay off their loans. So they can just raise taxes in their country to get more money if they're ever a little short on paying off a loan. In this sense, governments can never lose, and neither do people who loan them money. You always hear of governments in debt trillions of dollars and might be asking yourself, in debt to who? That would be to central banks, who arguably modeled this structure of non-stop government loaning from the original Rothschild firm. A bit of an infinite money glitch that won't end well for us. Meyer saw big bucks flowing in from this business model, so he taught his 5 sons his methods and sent them on an expedition across Europe to Germany, England, France, Austria, and Italy to set up similar counting houses in each. Rinse and repeat. They quickly rose to power and became the richest bankers in each country, having more money than all other banks in those countries combined. Clearly, this strategy was working beautifully. At the time, one business owning banks in multiple different countries was unheard of, and they definitely made the most of it, doing shit like funding both sides of the war and Napoleon's conquest, which is no secret, meaning they probably did the same for the world wars and even conflicts happening today. They helped Brazil pay for its liberation from Portugal, saved the Bank of England from collapse by bailing them out. Just imagine being so rich that the most powerful country in the world at the time comes asking you for money. Pretty much funded the industrialization of America, which was a barren land of cowboys, log cabins, and natives at the time, and also helped Britain buy the Suez Canal, which connects the Mediterranean to the Indian Ocean. When Britain issued the Balfour Declaration in 1917, announcing its support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people, Israel, it was addressed to Lionel Walter Rothschild, who also helped fund this move. So what's their secret? How do they keep this generational wealth growing so steadily over the centuries? Well, when Meyer, the OG businessman behind the government loans, passed away, he outlined a very specific system in his will, in which the wealth can only get passed down the male line of lineage, meaning females who married outside the family were completely left out of the money. I think you know where this is going. Because of this rule in his will, all future descendants had a tendency to marry within the family, mostly their second or even first cousins and the occasional niece. And that's exactly how they kept it within the family to this day. It's speculated that a Rothschild may actually be the real richest person in the world, counting in the trillions, using intentional tricks of the trade like asset hiding, trust funds, and shell companies to hide their true wealth. So while everyone's focused on Musk versus Bezos battling it out head to head for the richest person title, the real top dog is quietly sitting in the shadows, tapping their fingers together, thinking of their next move.
Rah. That is mad.
I think that it brings up something we spoke about before about everyone being corporations, like in
Yeah.
terms of even the banks
Yeah,
are,
yeah, yeah,
are
yeah.
just businesses.
It's
like,
true, man. Everything.
Everything's just a corporation,
And
and they make us think it's some type of like crazy like thing that was just already there that is just so powerful, but it's like it's just another company.
It's just another business, literally. Like how you can go on in the UK, we use Company's House to register a business, and I think that's an LTD, and in America, I think it's called an LLC or something like that. The same way you can have the freedom to do that, other people have done that and made banks from just doing that, which is crazy.
I think quite a scary concept that this video goes into is the idea that there are rich people bigger than entire governments and countries. You know what I mean? That can literally loan them money and then have influence over politics, over wars, over literally a whole country's say. You know what I mean? So it makes you wonder, like, who's actually running things? You know what I mean? Because like, if these countries are in debt to these people, then I'm sure they could blackmail them and have influence over the country's actions and the politicians, which is it makes you wonder, like, these people we see, they are not in charge still, like they're just faces.
Yeah, it's true.
And the real people with the P's are not to be seen. You know what I mean? And like, I think in like Illuminati terms, I think there's supposed to be like 13 families in it, and this is supposed to be one of them.
That's mad.
And you got like the Bilderbergs, the Rockefellers, and a bunch of other ones, and but this is like the one that people know the most, I think.
I think it's really interesting the idea of like the way they use their family members to keep the generations going. Like that's odd to me.
Yeah, it's weird
like.
that they're all marrying into the same bloodline. Like,
yeah, like what?
Strange one, man. It is a strange one.
Money is their motive, and there's no like morality. It's just like they're just keeping it just money. I feel like, when does it stop being that like money is worth anything? Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, you can go up and up and up, and it's like, the more money you have, the more money you have, the more power you have. But when did it stop and then get to the point where, okay, we're outside of the system that money controls? You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't that be higher if you were just literally controlling above being in money? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
But then it's like, it's so crazy the way that money has so much power, like over so many people.
I think it's more about that. If everything about his family is true and they are of that influence, like, money's nothing to them at this point. You know what I mean? Like, so now it's just literally just using money to have power and influence over people and over the world. It sounds like, you know what I mean? Like,
Literally.
which is scary. It's like, why do you need that, and how does that benefit you and your family? Because it's like, you guys are at a point where you don't need any more wealth. You don't. You know what I mean? You could just all retire and just give up on what you know what I mean? Like, you got enough. Probably you got wealth for like multiple generations of your family.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Like,
and I feel like the fact that they like. Do you think it would be because he said the reason why they've been able to go on for so long is because they keep it in the family, literally, like they're rebreeding in the family. Do you feel like that they would have been able to still keep it going if that wasn't the case? Because they said, I think it's really interesting the way they said that the women can't be a part of that wealth. They can live in with the men and obviously experience it, but they can't pass it down into whatever they're doing. So I feel like it's really interesting because the way that they have that like perception of how the man needs to keep carrying this down. Like, what do you guys think of that?
Yeah, well, I think you're saying like the women couldn't have the wealth if they married outside of the family, basically. So they made this kind of contract where it says the money only stays within the family. So if a woman marries somebody else of a different name or different family, she's now out of the wealth in it. So I mean, it's a strange one though. Like, you know what I mean? It's like seems very like exclusive. Like, they don't want no outsiders in it. Reminds me a bit of like some like kind of religious kind of stuff, to be fair, you know, in that sense of like, you have some of them people that just interbreed and I don't know, man. It seems a bit weird, man. Like, I can't lie.
Like, it's smart though, like, because it's almost like if you say the men like can say, okay, cool, they keep it going in terms of the structure, and then like they're basically saying that if you choose to go out and do this with this family, then you can't. It is that's smart as how they've like made it happen for so long. I'm not saying that their practices are the best. I'm not saying that all right or anything. But it's interesting to
Yeah,
me.
'cause I guess they're never gonna have another family come in, divorce them, and then take off the
Yeah,
belongings
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? But
Because as soon as that happens, the money's lost. It's not theirs anymore. It's someone else's, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, it's just they're keeping it
So they're
concentrated.
thinking about it logically in
They're
that sense.
They're keeping it concentrated, but it's just kind of immoral. Like, it's just a bit weird, man. Should we go to the next video?
I was
Enjoy
gonna
that.
say we should probably finish it up.
Wanna finish up?
Yeah, 'cause it's been like
Calm.
yeah.
Alright, cool.
But we'll do another one in the next video. So
guys, what do you think of the Rothschild family and similar families? Do you think do you think they have enough wealth, or do you think like they need to keep going and dominate the whole world? So, you know.
So mad. I feel like we definitely need to watch more on this, so we will in another video, 100%.
Love.
But yeah, guys.
Yo, make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, and if you guys want to support the channel, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link down below in the description, and also there's a Patreon. So if you want to check that out, feel free to. Bye bye.